Ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday, October 24th, and that can mean only one thing. Top 8 players, invitational time. I am joined here by my boy, Dr. D. Leo, and we are here for one of the longest days of our calendar, Top 8 Invitational. How you doing, Doc?
I am so excited for today. Honestly, I've had goosebumps. I got out of bed at the first hint of my alarm. I got ready. I am so excited for this. This event is what we've been working up to over the last 4 months. It is a great day. As you can see, we're all dressed up for the invitational, and this is the pregame show. This is where we talk about the decks. This is where we talk about the matchups for round one, and we talk about some of these just like off the wall brews that are coming this week today. Because honestly, this is a crazy, crazy lineup for a top eight. Hi there, Mango. Oh, but when it comes to the top eight here, we have no Oko, no Delver decks, and no Force of Will. This is a wild top eight. Bring me into the decks. What do we got?
So, for those of you who don't know, this is our Legacy Invitational. Our top 8 players for the last 3 months are here to compete for our Invitational title. We're going to be playing double elimination with our number 1 seed Frosty running Death and Taxes. We've got Death and Taxes, 12 posts. We've got Alurin. We've got Bug Hogak. We've got the good old fancy elves. We've got Steel Stompy. We've got, which we believe is going to be the deck of the day, Oops All Spells.
Yeah.
And we've got Punishing Maverick. This is going to be an insane 6 or 7 rounds of Magic today, and we are so excited. So
Yeah.
I already kind of said it. We think Oops All Spells is going to be our deck of the day. How are we thinking that?
So what's really unique about the Oops All Spells? Of course, we just had Eternal Weekend. Oops All Spells actually did really good that weekend, and Eternal Weekend's still going on right now for Vintage. But Oops All Spells has gotten this massive reboot because of these new dual face flip land slash spell cards that only count as a land when you play them as a land.
Yep.
So on the stack, when it comes to things like Balustrade Spy and Undercity Informer, they are spells, so you can mill over your entire deck. And honestly, this is a non-force of will matchup, so it's gonna be really wild to see just like how fast this player can go off.
I
So
mean, not having the best counterspell in Magic is going to be a really, really difficult time to deal with a deck that just runs you over. Um,
exactly,
so we
uh,
are going to be seeing 6 rounds of Magic today. It looks like 6 or 7 rounds of Magic.
6 or
We are
7.
going to be doing double elimination. What that means is our players will not be knocked out after one single loss. We did not want them going home after one game. We wanted our players to be playing the best kind of Magic. That means we're going to be jumping around all day today, match to match, as quick as possible, trying to see as many games as we can today. And at the finals, if our losers bracket winner somehow beats our top bracket winner, we are going to be having them play a second matchup. Just like
Yeah.
any melee fighting game, we are back. We are going to be doing this all day long.
Yeah, it's a bracket reset, and it does happen all the time. You see it in fighting games, especially in like the Super Smash Bros. Melee world. Everybody remembers that upset. But it's one of those things that it gives the maximum amount of chances for every player to win our grand prize. And our grand prize for today is a play set of our new tokens that we have. So either our original brainstorm tokens, or a little bit later, we're going to be revealing our brand new dark ritual art that's going to be for our new set of tokens, which are being created right now. So they're going to have their choice, whoever the winner is, to get either a place at the brainstorm or a place at the dark rituals. So it's going to be it's a hype time. It's really good prizing. And these players all know each other. They
Yeah.
all have seen each other at least once or twice throughout the entire couple of months. Everybody knows each other from the Discord, and it's pretty cool to see how these players brought these decks out. And honestly, some of these players, they you can tell that the sideboard is a little prepared. We have elves players bringing out the extra assassins trophies. We have Steel Stompy definitely bringing in those chokes just in case, because honestly, we've had a lot of those snow goes 4-color piles, but luckily now it's just, I mean, it's wild to see how these players decided on their decks.
I mean, it's great. We kind of stuck them into a Discord chat about a week ago, letting them know that they had made the invitational, and they have just been talking up a storm to each other about what they wanted to run, what they wanted to do. The trash talk was there. I think they're all super excited. Let's
Oh,
hop into the conversation about our number 1 seed. We have Frosty.
Yep.
She has been pretty much unstoppable the last 3 months of play, almost racking up, I think it was 40, 45 points. For those of you who don't know, every win in the server gives you a point in our events. Every Tuesday night fight night, every Saturday night tournament. Frosty's been pretty much untouchable, going 4-1, 5-0, kind of just kicking ass all week, all last 3 months. They are running the revamped Death and Taxes list with Skyclave Apparition. In a no force of will meta, how are we feeling about Frosty running that today?
Well, I was just about to bring that up because it's important. So Charble, good homie of mine, and he's been tuning this Allure list of him. I see he snuck 3 Force of Will into his list. So there are, we do have a Force of Will matchup. So
Force of will in Alurin.
yeah,
All
I
right.
I didn't see it, but yeah, it's stuck in there, and we'll talk about his deck list a little later. But honestly, Death and Taxes has gone through this renaissance. It is, oh, excuse me, it is now this new deck that honestly can only be summed with one card, Skyclave Apparition. This card is amazing. It has taken care of every one of its problematic matchups. It's even gone as far to I don't think we have, yeah, there's no jailers in this list. It's
No.
replaced Palace Jailer, which
Yeah.
has oftentimes been regarded as the white Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy to see that we have this, massive fight that's about to come down between, Death and Taxes, which is regarded as an aggro tempo fair deck, but the opponent Rax, bringing in that punishing Maverick.
Yeah, punishing Maverick. Going to be a great matchup. Been talking with Frosty a lot. Frosty and I are both some of the relevant D&D players on the server. We talk quite a lot. We play all the time, making sure our lists are tuned. But this punishing Maverick deck looks beautiful. It is set to do explosive things, and I don't think there's really a deck that can punish anyone else more than a deck that runs punishing fire right now.
Yeah.
Um,
This
right.
the recurring aspect of punishing fire is gonna be hard for Death and Taxes to interact with, but of course we got the powerful mother of rooms, we got the stepmom giver of rooms, and honestly, I really like how this entire deck it's become pretty much a replaceable everything either draws you card, affects the board, and honestly, Sanctum Prelate is going to be a massive card for
Yeah.
in this matchup because being able to put it on 2 to stop that punishing fire is going to be huge.
And for everyone watching at home, our players are in a very different perspective. If you've ever been lucky enough to top 8 a GP, top 8 a Pro Tour, we are doing the same rules today. These will be open deck lists. All players know what they are facing today. All players know what to expect in the sideboarding aspects of these lists. They will see all 75 cards posted every single round, knowing exactly what they are going up against. These players are ready to play these games. And you
Yeah.
can clearly see that these sideboards are going to have some thought into it. We are moving into 75-minute rounds to keep these games going. We didn't want to give them free round the whole game. We might be here till midnight, especially in the legacy gameplay. But these
Yeah.
players are going to have 75 minutes, best of 3 matchups to see who is the best. And I think we have some of the best decks that I could have asked for.
Oh
Even
yeah.
even with Frosty, even running the one giver, knowing that there may be some colorless lists in their world. And we have 2. We've got 12 post and we have Steel Stompy. Being able to give
Yeah.
colorless protection is going to be really, really good on Frosty's side.
I really think Steel Stompy is another underdog in this. We didn't see it overperform this last Tuesday when it was on our stream,
Mhm.
but I really think Stone Coil Serpent is an amazing card. I think the card puts up such a fast clock when you have tons of soul lands, and things like Thorn of the Amethyst can get a lot of players.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be really crazy to see. Now let's talk about some of the combo decks that we have here because the combo decks are going to be the scary decks,
yeah,
including my one of my top picks for most broken decks is Bug Hogak.
yeah.
Like this deck is insane. This deck has been insane for the last year since Hogak was printed, and I think it's going to do some crazy stuff here. Talk to me about Bug Hogak. What do you think? What's the matchups like?
Oh God! So, coming from a Death and Taxes perspective, especially as I'm going to keep putting this into Frosty's shoes as our number 1 seed. This is the deck I think they are most scared of. Other than Rest in Peace and Surgicals, we really don't have an answer for something that is 10 times faster than our game plan. We want to be long. We want to make sure this game goes long. But when we're losing on turn 1, turn 2 to Grave Crawler, Hedron Climb, and then slamming in Hogax, it doesn't look good for us. This
Yeah,
deck is fast. This deck wants to remove everything from your list. This wants to just dump everything into its bin and just slam you with 30 power on turn
yeah.
2 or turn 3.
Im- Importantly about this matchup, though, this is a Cabal Therapy deck.
Yeah.
So this deck is it is definitely one of those decks that you can just rip an opponent's hand apart. Because let's be real here, Cabal Therapies not like a Nick Fit strategy Cabal Therapies where you have to hit like one or two because you only get one or two Cabal Therapies off.
Mhm.
It hits like a dredge strategy where it's just gonna empty your hand and say, "I have an entire board. Does the top of your deck produce?"
Yeah.
And honestly, it's looking pretty harsh. Importantly here, when we talk about the sideboards, I love the one of Armageddon and Frosty sideboard.
Yeah, yeah. Knowing you're playing against some decks like Alurin, you're playing against decks like Elves that are so dependent on that green mana that they generate. Running an Armageddon can just shut down the game.
Well,
I
it's
think,
an automatic win against things like 12 post.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's so good, and honestly, you haven't seen it much in a lot of these sideboards for Death and Taxes. You see more Cataclysm effects,
Yeah,
but I love the one of Armageddon. I think that card is going to be so well in this matchup, and I'm super excited to see it.
I definitely believe if anyone sees Frosty's lists when they're sitting down across from her, they're gonna go, "How bad does this hurt me?" And if you're a 12 post, you're gonna go, "Oh shit, that's gonna hurt if it
Yeah.
hits off." But let's talk about we did kind of screw up here. We thought there was no forcible in the and then we see Alurin kind of splashing blue, trying to get us a little bit of forcible love, and we're gonna
Yeah.
see a lot of it. So now that we do see that we do have a deck that's running 4 copies of forcible, 3 in the main, 1 in the side. Um, how are you feeling?
So I have talked a lot with Charble in the past. He and I are pretty close. He's one of the OGs as well from the early days of the Discord server, and Charble has combine two different decks. It is an Allure shell, that is true, and but it's also got a little bit of Nick Fit in there just for that card advantage. Because honestly, Allure really, really, really needs to get to that four mana. It's so important, and in a world where Wasteland and chokes and other effects like that can take down your mana, it's really hard on Allure. Now, traditionally, this is done through mana dorks. But in this world, Charble is jamming 2 of Veteran Explorer and a 4 of Cabal Therapy just so that he has the interaction with the Cabal Therapy to prevent his alarm from being Force of Willed, but also that ramp so that way he can get to that 4 CMC.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is our pregame right up here. We are getting ready to jump right into round 1. Let's jump into it. We've got Frosty on Death and Taxes and Rax on Punishing Maverick. Doc, are you ready?
I am so ready. I'm so hyped. Let's get going. Let's go to round 1.
Let's get into this round 1, guys. We're going to be here all day, and we've got our first matchup going in right now. So like we said, this is a Pro Tour top 8 kind of feel. So Frosty as the number 1 seed, and the higher seeds for the day will be choosing pass or play. There are no dice rolls for pass or play. So it looks like to start it off, Frosty's going to probably be on the play here with Death and Texas. It's the position I would want to be in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially knowing that you are against a Maverick style deck, taking the play versus off them is huge. That being said, this is a game about mana advantage. In the Death and Taxes version, it's Aether Vial. That's how they get their mana advantage. In Maverick, it's in the dorks, Birds of Paradise, Dryad Arbor, Noble Hierarch, things like that that can definitely bring and you closer to your game plan while your opponent being stifled on mana. That's gonna be so important, especially since Death and Taxes is a 4 wasteland 4 shot import deck. You're
Yeah.
really gonna need that turn 1 mana dork.
Yeah, I'm really glad we are seeing the kind of straightforward land base here for Death and Taxes from Frosty's side. We got the 1 Horizon Canopy, 3 Caracas, 4 Rashad Ports, 4 Wasteland. No outstanding number of Horizon Canopies. No castles from. We see no castles from Throne of Eldraine being in the sideboard here. Chaotic Bear, thank you so much for the 3 months, man. We appreciate it so much. Just the straightforward land base, just to make sure those players are knowing that this is the best they're going to get. You're
Yeah,
seeing 4 ports, you're seeing 4 wastelands. We will play Caracas matchups if we have to do that. And I think Frosty's she's putting herself in a really great position here to put out some good stuff in the game one here.
Yeah, thank you, Chaotic Bear, for the resubscribe. One of our original subscribers when we first got subscribers. Thanks again, homie. Hey, much love and appreciation. But yeah, importantly here, when it comes to this matchup, specifically for the Wasteland style matchups, this is both of these decks are Wasteland styles.
Mhm.
Death and Taxes does have the edge with being a more simple mana base, being just 12 planes as your colored sources. But that
Mhm.
being said, we've seen tons of times when Death and Taxes, much like Goblins, can be stuck on those utility lands and really leaning hard on those vials, stuff like that. But importantly here, there's a one of Collector Oof in the main board for Rax.
Ooh, in the
Yeah.
main, that's gonna be a spicy little thing if they can
So
find it quick.
so we have a one of Collector Roof and a one of Quasali Pride Mage, which can just we're getting a visitation from Rax's cat. But this one of Quasali Pride Mage is also can just throw a wrench in the work. It can blow up Batter Skulls, it can blow up Chits, and I don't know who comes out on the top here. Like you're the Death and Taxes guy. Tell me, who do you think comes on top? Because I'm looking at this as 50-50 right now.
It really depends on how Rax plays quickly with their Maverick list. They have the position to put Frosty on the back burner very, very early with the tools that they have. So we are going to get going here. Just Plains Class. I'm guessing we're going to see some swords action very quickly from Frosty. But to answer your question, I think it really all depends on these first 2 or 3 turns. If we see Skyclave get stuck in hand, if we see these 3 or 4 drops from Rax just not being able to get out, we could see a very, very awkward matchup, but a matchup that could go very fast either way.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so it looks like we are just going to see a turn 1 GSZ here for Zero, going to grab that Dryad Arbor.
This is so important because in the case if I see Frosty leading turn one Plains Pass, that's telling me this is a sword for my turn
Yeah,
one mana dork. Let's be real here. And I would much rather have a Dryad Arbor swords than a Noble Hierarch. Noble Hierarch
absolutely.
does more of your fixing, does more on the attacking side and the offensive side. And I'm super like it, when it comes to this matchup. I love Green Sun Zenith. I've always been a Green Sun Zenith player. Like it's kind of like my jam. I'm 100% leading on the Green Sun Zenith because it's also basically card neutral because it just gets shuffled back into your library.
Yep, and we are going to for all of our viewers watching at home, we are going to be doing something new today. You saw in the chat there, we are going to be running a form of bingo all day today.
Forgot about that.
We're going to have 50, 60 boards going live right now, and we're going to ask you guys to, if you're playing along at home, shout out bingo in the chat when you get it. And our guy, Lone Digger, one of our mods here, who's in the chat right now, is going to be working on handling all of our bingo games today. So we've got everything from fetch lands to if I get out of my chair today, all sorts of stuff today going on. So if you guys want to play bingo along with us during all of today's event, go ahead and create your guys a bingo card and play along with us. I know Lone has been very, very excited about working on this, and since we get to we're going to debut it here on the Invitational. A little bit of a slow start from Frosty here. Kind of seeing. I'm a little confused with what they kept in hand if we're stuck here
This
on the
is
set.
this is a 3 mana play, 100%. This is a 3 mana play. Hey, Professor of Fat 256. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Professor Top Hat.
Professor Top Hat? Was that Professor Top Hat?
Yeah.
Oh, Professor. Oh, okay. I saw PHT. I was like, oh. So we need. I think we need to change the color, the font, because it always blends in with the purple background in the back, and it just.
Professor Top Hat,
So,
thank you so much for being on the stream with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
oh,
So we are going to see the vial come out on turn 3 from Frosty. I really want to know what's in Frosty's hand here. We are going to see a. We're just going to keep tapping on the Dryad Arbor. I like that play. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's a super smart play. Just continuously tapping down the Dryad Arbor, kind of holding them to that one land kind of in the back there.
I agree. Hey, keeping him on 2 mana is important because I mean Maverick is a deck that historically skips the 2 mana. Of course, we do have tutorable Green Sun Zenith one shot targets being Collector Roof, Quasali Pride Mage. Historically, there's Gaddock Teague, stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I really do think 3 mana is the soft spot for this deck.
yeah.
Things like Knight of the Reliquary, Ramen Up Excavator. Of course, we also have our best card in Magic, Questing Beast at 4 CMC, which
Okay.
I love this. I love this card. Questing Beast is great, but
We
yeah,
are even seeing with since they are running the Punishing Fire list, we are even seeing a one Clothis God of Destiny in this list. That can be definitely a good late game tool here to possibly put them over the edge for the win here.
I have
Um,
talked about Colossus over and over ad nauseum. I think this card is busted. I think this card is great. I think Colossus is like a standard sideboard slot nowadays for most decks that run red and green. But seeing it here in the main board of Maverick, I love it. Like
yes,
I
we
think
are
it's
going to.
impossible to be removed actually in Legacy outside of like Council's judgment.
Yeah. So Rax is putting themselves in a good position here. We are going to see the Ramanop Excavator kind of just negating those wastelands now that could be in Frosty's hand. Pretty good spot here for, I think, Rax. Like I said, I think this game was going to be kind of teetering on who had the best 3-turn start. And it looks like, unfortunately, I got to put it to Rax right now about what we're doing. But
Yeah,
we are going to see the Skyclave, the card we were talking
called
about,
it.
slamming down here, getting rid of that Ramanop Excavator. Get out of here. Don't want you anymore. Um,
Yeah, and you see, this card has really just brought back Death and Taxes. Like, honestly, there were people saying the deck was unplayable. It was a solid tier two because, of course, like Plague Engineer and other effects like that, like really like brought down the deck a little bit. But now
yeah.
we see Death and Taxes has just really evolved, and it's awesome to see it back. And I think the standard bearer of Death and Taxes is the standard bearer of Legacy. If Death and Taxes is good, Legacy is healthy.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think Legacy is like perfectly healthy, but I really think that Death and Taxes being good is a good sign for Legacy. I think that the overall meta of Legacy has kind of adjusted.
Yeah. So the bad end of Skyclave, unfortunately, is you hope that card stays around almost the entirety of the game. But with a card like Punishing Fire, being able to hit that Skyclave allows Rax to kind of bounce back there. Losing both creatures to a Wasteland and to a Skyclave really hurt there. And now they have a 3/3 blue elemental spirit creature on their side of the board. Now to start getting into beats on Rax's side of the board. And it looks like they also got a Scavenging Ooze in there as well. So
I have
Rax, nice
I
way to
have
bounce back.
I have won many a games off of a Scavenging Ooze versus
Yep.
Death and Taxes that they just can't find the removal spell for it because it just does get bigger than a lot of things, and there's oftentimes a lot of creatures just hitting the graveyard for
Yeah,
Death and Taxes that
definitely.
you can clean
Scavenging
up.
Ooze is one of the scary cards for. Is so scary for a Death and Tax list if you just cannot find. We're only running 4 removal spells, Swords to Plowshares. If we can't find those, I mean, I've played plenty of Death and Taxes games where I've never seen a Swords in my hand in the entirety of a 10-turn game. It happens, and so we are going to see a Wasteland here from Frosty, and we did see it last turn with the Wasteland hitting the Dryad Arbor, kind of just completely clearing the board. Um, so
Yeah,
Frosty more in the controlling matchup here.
importantly here, outside of the 3 Grove of Burn Willows, it's 2 Taiga and 1 Plateau for red sources. So it's
Mhm.
entirely possible that we can see Wastelanding off of red, keep him off of red, which does it's a little bit harder, but it's possible for the deck to do. And
Yeah,
that Punishing Fire is going to be the most important part of this matchup.
yeah, not even running a single basic mountain. That could really in a deck that's in a list that's running four Rashad ports and 4 wastelands, that could be really punishing if we do not see any way to create red mana here later on in the future.
Yeah, we see 1 Force and 1 Plains, and they're already on the field. So
Yeah,
that's it for basics.
yeah,
But importantly here, Rax has a clock. That's 5 damage coming in, or 6 damage coming in.
yeah.
That's yeah, 14 to 18. And honestly, Scavenging Ooze might take this a little bit because man, it's just gonna get so big. It's just gonna eat up that Dryad Arbor, eat up everything else. Oh, and we see the Wasteland for the port.
Yeah, there it is. So we're just seeing this back and forth now, kind of. I think right now Rax has put themselves in a really good position here, kind of hitting for 6 and 7 damage there. Scavenging is starting to get bigger, so we're now seeing these life totals slowly tick down.
Is
We're
that
going
a
to see
fifth
if
edition Sylvan Library?
I think so. And there we go, the vial on the Stoneforge Mystic. The finally starting to put the tools together of what we need. I think we're probably going
This
to grab a Batter Skull here. I think that'd be the
This
tool I
is
would need.
100% a batter skull. I would grab a batter skull every time, all the time with this right now because of the fact that honestly, this Stoneforge Mystic may not be sticking around, and you want to be able to produce a body
Yeah.
ASAP.
And I think as of right now, I believe it gets around Punishing Fire. So they wouldn't even have to be dealing with a Punishing Fire, taking out that Germ token. Dealing with a 4/4 with Vigilance and Lifelink can kind of make sure that Punishing Fire doesn't do the best that it can. But we do have a possible problem. The bottom text of Punishing Fire, whenever your opponent gains life, they can put Punishing Fire back into your hand.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
that's one of those interactions that uh, kind of counteract. Oh, we know we see a Sophie.
yeah, so I think that is the best secondary option there. We have a 3/3 blue creature on the other side, being able to just get through it, not have to worry about it, possibly taking out the Scavenging Ooze on the back end. Um, you know, we might definitely see some best things here. Frosty definitely understands her deck inside and out, knowing those combat threat assessments. And like I said, I think honestly she may be one of the best DNT players here in the server. And I mean, clearly she's our number one seed. Slamming a Recruiter of the Guard. I think we're probably going to see another
Oh,
Skyclave Apparition here, or maybe even a Flicker Wisp.
yeah. I was about to say with that Vial on 3, yep, Flicker Wisp, because that can kill the token. Take that out,
Yep.
and not have any credence to the Punishing Fire,
Yeah.
coming in the future. But importantly here, this Sylvan library, this is just going to catch racks up throughout this entire game.
Yeah.
Uh, Maverick is traditionally not a deck that runs a lot of card draw. Obviously, its value, just like Death and Taxes, are in
Yeah.
creature that replace itself.
Yeah.
So the fact that this deck has two Sylvan libraries to help recoup those losses, that's everything. That's the game when it comes to Death and Taxes, because Death and Taxes is historically a deck that can empty its hand and not really recoup that. It's not running blue, it's not running anything like that, and so
Yeah.
because of that, a little bit more on the difficult side.
Yeah, I'm still really. We're going to see a Gaia's Cradle coming
Oh,
out from Rax's side. We're going to see some big plays here. Green Sun's for 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's a 4. Green Sun's for 4 or
this is
5 here.
100% going for Questing Beast.
There's your
This
favorite card.
Oh, this card, I love it. So Questing Beast, and I got the entire text. Questing Beast is a Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste 4/4 for 4, and creatures with power 2 or less can't block it. So sorry
So
to
every so everything but a 4/4 Germ and a 3/1 Flying Flicker Wisp.
Yep, that's it. They can't block it. When it deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that opponent controls. But also, there's a really small reminder text in there that people forget all the time. Hey, Tron Travolta, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, buddy.
What a name. What a
I
great name.
I love that. I like that. That was that's a very well played name. But so importantly here, it says as combat damage cannot be prevented when it's on the board. So
Yeah.
things like Sophie and stuff like that don't stop it.
And so we are going to see that Vile activation, bringing in that Flicker Wisp, probably going to bounce the 3/3. Yeah, get the 3/3 out of here. That's been giving you
Yeah,
problems. Great play here.
yeah. Okay, Alec Bear, the quarterback is in the house, the QB, and this is such a fast clock,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty excited for it because of the fact that this really puts Frosty on the back foot. Okay, do you have a Swords of Plowshares? Do you have an answer? Because if not, but importantly, Questing Beast is legendary and can be balanced with things like Caracas.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we have not seen a Caracas on Frosty's side of the board this game. We are just stuck on 3 basic planes. Having that Gaia's Cradle for Rax was huge, allowing them to finally ramp it up into getting this gigantic 4/4. Um,
Yeah, Gaia's Cradle has always been one of those engine pieces when it
yeah,
comes to it. Of course, it is a utility lands deck. Maverick can find any utility land, being the
yeah.
fact that it is a Neither Reliquary deck. But sometimes you just need that extra touch of mana that Gaia's Cradle just does for you. And I mean, it's one of the best lands in Magic for a reason.
I mean, there's a reason why it's an almost $800 Magic card now. Thank you, Commander. We appreciate
Oh,
everything you guys do for the Magic community, including raising all of our prices. I want to give a shout out to one of my friends in chat, Matt Lee. Thank you so much for stopping by today, man. It's so good to see you guys in the chat. We are going to see the Sword of Fire and Ice come down and equip to the Flicker Wisp. Now we've got a 5/3 flyer with a bolt with a shock extra on the back end. So down to 14 for Frosty. Where are we going? Hit to the face with the Sword of Fire and
yeah,
Ice,
you got
and
to
we got
hit
to
to the
draw.
face. You got to do something because this does nothing to any of the creatures. Scavenging Ooze just gets too big. Questing Beast is just this house, and you gotta match that at that pace. Because importantly here, Questing Beast already got in for 4, and it's
Yeah.
not like any of your other creatures can be able to block it.
Absolutely. And there's no reason, in my opinion, to really. I don't think there's a real reason to trade that unless you want to trade the Flicker Wisp. Actually, you wouldn't even trade. You could block the Questing Beast with the Flicker Wisp, then Sword Activation, kill the Questing Beast. That's the other option that Frosty has for that side of the combat. But I think just Beat Stick here might be just the best option for Frosty.
Yeah, this is gonna be coming down to the next 1 to 2 turns. This game will
Yeah,
be over. So
yeah,
you have to put yourself in a position that okay, you need the extra card draw, and let's also embrace the important part of this. Skyclave Apparition can hit a questing beast. It's
yes, it is.
four CMC or less.
Yep.
Like so, you have to dig for that Skyclave Apparition to
I
just
mean,
hopefully give you something.
yeah, when you're running 4 of them and you're running Recruiter, thank God Recruiter is. I'm really happy that Wizards looked on Legacy and went, they need another white spell that can get grabbed by Recruiter of the Guard and gave us Skyclave Apparition. Recruiter grabs Skyclave, and like Recruiter of the Guard is now one of the best white creature tutors I could ever ask for. Gives me 8 pieces of removal in a Death and Taxes list. I've seen some lists even moving up to 4 Recruiters just because it grabs all of our Flicker Wisps and all of our Skyclave Apparitions. We are going to see Rumble in the Jungle here from Rex with the Questing Beast, and I believe a Scavenging Ooze that is getting pretty beefy here. Um,
Yeah, importantly here, this recruiter going to the graveyard also gives more fodder to the scavenging ooze. Scavenging ooze
yeah.
can gain you life,
Mm-hmm.
and so because of that, that's going to change the clock on from Frosty.
Yeah,
And
just
it's only like 1 or 2 life, but that 1 or 2 life is, let's see, you've got 1, 2. I think yeah, it's only 2 life right now.
yeah. Do want to give everyone a shout out. Make sure you guys are checking in on your bingo boards. I see Lone is doing a great job in chat right now, putting everything out there. Sword makes a creature protection. Make sure you cross that off. Go ahead and guys keep checking in on your bingo boards. And we are going to see here a Knight of the Reliquary here coming down for Rax with all of the lands already in the battlefield from the Wasteland, from all of the fetching. This is going to become a very big Knight of the Reliquary very, very fast.
Ooh, okay. So we do have a recruiter guard that can find this Skyclave apparition.
Yeah.
So we do have an answer to the questing beast, but this as neither recorder is just so big as well. Like
Yeah.
what's your answer? Do you have a sword? Do you have anything else? But Frosty's gonna get 2 draws this turn to hopefully try and find something.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to what you believe is the imminent threat. A 4/4 staring you in the face is pretty big, but if anything, you could be looking at a 7/7 or an 8/8 Knight of the Reliquary just beating you down, not being able to get through. But we do have enough low power creatures that we can stick in front of the Knight and kind of figure out what we want to be. Lone throwing out some love for Frosty here. Is Frosty going to be the people's champion? Yeah, I mean, our number 1 seed is playing pretty great Magic. This is one of the best matchups. There's the sword on Rex's side.
Oh,
Oh no!
okay. So we do have the swords to stop the draw. So importantly, though, that's a 5 life buffer. That's not too
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
But that's so big because that card draw engine was so important for Frosty. Okay, so but to be fair, Frosty does have an answer of her own in the form of the Skyclave apparition, which can
yeah.
stop any one of these. But I mean, which one do you stop? Do you stop the big beater that prevents the damage? Do you stop the skews that can gain you life, or do you stop the Knight of the Reliquary, which is just going to get massive here in the next couple of turns?
Yeah, I think we hit. Unfortunately, I think we hit the questing beasts. Oh, they're gonna
Oh,
okay. Take the Knight. I respect either end of that option. I think neither of them is the wrong play. It really depends on what Frosty is thinking in their brain about what needs to happen next. Um, with a sanctum prelate after that is a great play here. Naming
okay.
2,
Tap you on 2.
stopping any other big plays coming out of them. That knocks off our script ranger. That takes out our scavenging oozes, our Quasali pride mages. And we see a Mama Vrooms even come down for Frosty. So Frosty's putting themselves in a position to just
Oh,
gum
and a
up the
Krakus.
board.
A Krakus. There's a
Oh,
Krakus now.
there it is. Okay, so that's why we did not remove the
The questing
the
beast.
yeah, we saw a Caracas.
Okay, so important. I was about to say, I agree with you on the mom, but the problem is that mom is just not good when there's a questing beast in the field because it just invalidates it. Not
But
only can none of these creatures block questing beast,
yeah,
it also makes it so that if you try to protect and block it, you just go straight through it.
yeah. I mean,
I
we could just get into a position of making them continuously spend 4 mana here on a questing beast to keep getting in beats. Um,
I
but
think
I
Rax is looking for a wasteland. He's got to find a wasteland.
yeah, absolutely gotta find a wasteland here.
Yeah. And thanks, Prez, for saying I look sharp. I appreciate it. Didn't even notice that. Thank you. You gotta break out the good looks for the invitational.
So slams a
Oh,
noble.
okay.
Mars
So
Mars Capone already calling for GG. We'll see. This matchup's going back and forth almost every turn we see here. Um, but
yeah,
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Okay, so importantly here, when it comes to Noble Hierarch and the interaction with a Questing Beast, Noble Hierarch can make Questing Beast just a lethal attacker, especially if you get one or two of them stacked up. It's ridiculous.
hmm
But here we do see the Scoos coming in, and this Scoos is massive and can get even bigger.
Oh, I really am at amazed at what we're seeing in just our first game of the day here. We're seeing some great plays here. Recruiter going to block the scavenging ooze here. Did its job, did its work, and we still see a pretty powerful board from Frosty's side. I wouldn't even be surprised if we start seeing sort of Fire Nice going back onto maybe a Prelate, a Stoneforge Mystic here. We are going to see tap 2 here. We are going to see a Thalia hit the battlefield for Rax.
Okay, so I mean, a late game Thalia, it's not too bad. And hey, Pierto, oh, thank you for the follow. Much love, much appreciation. And so we're seeing this Thalia, and this Thalia, I think Thalia's gonna get cut in both matches in post
Yeah,
sideboard.
yeah,
I, I
absolutely.
Wasteland for the Gaia's Cradle.
Great play from Frosty here. Um,
Oh, it looks like we have three. I think it's three green mana floating.
yeah, probably floated the mana in response to the Wasteland. Um,
Definitely.
yeah,
I mean, that can all be funneled into emptying your opponent's graveyard. Death and
yeah.
taxes historically can't interact with their graveyard, with the exception of that one time that Luris was legal.
Loris was a time that we don't talk about with the DNT meta. It's fine.
I
Um,
actually got to play against Luris as a theoretical non-companion just in the deck, and it was ridiculous.
yeah.
Like the card, even if we just completely banned the companion as a mechanic and just kept it, should not have existed, especially because it's just so powerful in D&T.
Yep, Rax is going to gain 2 up to 11. So I think we are all knotted up here at 11. That Scavenging Ooze has 4 counters on it now, starting to become a big beast, starting to become a problem possibly for Frosty to deal with.
This
Um,
scavenging ooze is coming in for 7, and it's crazy to see. Oh, Spirit of the Labyrinth.
Yeah, I think it's an okay card. It helps with Sylvan Library. I mean, you still get to look through the cards, but nothing really happens on top of everything. Loris, please, Xylophone. I wish we could go. I wish we could go back to the Luris era. Luris was fun, but I'm really glad they changed the companion rule. Companion was a very broken mechanic for those who were involved with it.
It was a
Yeah,
dark time. But this is okay. So this board state across is just I don't know what to make of it, because this is wild to see. So importantly here, this Solly attack is pretty much free. Both
yeah,
players have Caracases. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
It really doesn't matter what we're seeing here. It kind of there, we did have to see it come back. There's the questing beast for 4. Yeah, so Sylvan is turned off. Punishing Fire is turned off. We are seeing pretty much now Tax is putting together what they need to do. Um,
yeah. And okay, so being a Death and Taxes player here, what are you trying to top deck? Do you need a Batter Skull? You need something to force through damage? If I'm correct.
there's 2 different things we're looking for. We were looking for either a Flickerwisp to put this sort of Fire Nice back onto. Flickerwisp also flickers the Scavenging Ooze, so all those counters are gone. Or the other thing is we're looking for our end game here. In this case, for Frosty, that could be Batter Skull. It could be another Skyclave to lock out the board. But the biggest one I think right now is probably a Flickerwisp. We are going to see the Spirit of the Labyrinth getting the sort of Fire Nice here. Um, so
Well,
I.
importantly, when it comes to the spirit is more expendable when it comes to
Mhm.
that, but also the Spirit of the Labyrinth is a 3/1.
Yeah.
This just made it a 5-3.
Yeah, it's a 5-3, but it also unfortunately does have the back end of not allowing Frosty to draw the card off of the Sword of Fire and Ice if it gets through.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
so it does have a little bit of a problem on the back end. I'm just gonna bounce the Questing Beast here, give protection from green, and probably just swing in for 5 here.
Yeah, I like this. I like going on the
Oh,
aggro.
swinging
It's
even
two.
more, swinging 7, 7, 8, 9, 8 here, I think.
Okay, so here's the one. Here's the thing that I don't like with this. I really think you need to block that Skyclave apparition right now
Yeah,
because that gives you a blue illusion.
yeah.
Oh wait, no, protection from blue and red. Duh. What am I thinking? Oh, it's like, oh, yeah, the mother runes can't give more than one color. So yeah, no, this is looking pretty bad here for Rax. I think that top deck Caracas really did help, and I think Rax really needs to find himself a not a Caracas, a wasteland of some kind.
Yeah, and Rastilinum, I see that you're talking about Palace Jailer. With the addition of Skyclave Operation, Palace Jailer isn't really a card in D&T anymore. The card is so good with Skyclave Operation, we remove our 4-drop. We don't want to go any higher on Vial with 3. We don't really see any need to bring in a draw engine, especially for running Spirit of the Labyrinth. And we are going to see just some stuff here. Palace Jailer just doesn't have the necessity of being in a D&T list right now, which is crazy. As we said earlier, Palace Jailer is considered the white Jace the Mind Sculptor, being able to draw a card at the end step of return, but it allows us to shut down Brainstorm, shut down Ponders with Spirit of the Labyrinth, and just not have to worry about any of those big pieces. We get rid of Oko now with Skyclave Operation. Palace Jailer just isn't in the cut anymore.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Keeping your vial on 3 was always the strong point for D&T.
Yeah.
Having a vial that can facilitate Flicker Wisp, Sanctum Prelate, things like Recruiter of the Guard, stuff like that, without having to have 2 vials, one on 4 and one on 3. Then yeah, because I mean that instant speed made Pal Share can be backbreaking.
Yeah.
But I mean, I agree. I think keeping consistently on vials, keeping that on 3, I think that's the most important part. And what are we seeing here?
So just an update of what happened there on the board. Speaking with our table spotter, so for our matches here, we do have table spotters that allow us to know what's going on. So our table spotter for this game is Beyond Sadistic, and he said that Frosty forgot the life gain off of Scavenging Ooze, so she thought she had lethal there on her swing there, her full swing.
Oh, okay, that explains it because,
Yeah,
like we said earlier, that life gain from Scoos is going to make a difference. And
yeah,
sure enough, we see that it's making a difference.
yeah.
Really
Um,
block Scoos.
yeah,
Okay.
Black Skews with the Sanctum Prelate, Frosty down to 4. Probably just gonna bounce the Questing Beast and swing in, it looks like.
Yeah, well, because the Crocus was tapped down on Frosty's turn, so now Rax is getting in a swing with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 12 points of damage, which 4 that cannot be blocked.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we might actually just have
do we have
seen
lethal?
lethal here. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, that might have done it. Yeah, that's lethal. I
Yeah,
think Rax
that's
gets
it.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, Rax
Oh my.
conceded. Rax conceded.
Oh,
Oh, the
Rax
blocks were
conceded.
there. Yeah, the
Really
blocks were
block
there. Rax.
skews.
Yeah, they were dead on the
Yeah, Frosty
crackback.
went to Frosty went to forward. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then yeah, they
crackback.
were dead on the crackback.
Yeah,
Wow, that
so
was a tight game.
Frosty steals it even on the miscue of gaining life on the scavenging ooze there. Frosty pulls it out on the crackback.
Frosty.
Woo!
Wow. That was some tight plays, and that's what you get when you have, someone who knows their deck, knows where their advantage is, and knows when to push damage. Okay, so we're going in here. We got some sideboard action. So Maverick's gonna be on the play. Here's their sideboard. Tell me what you think. And remember, these are all open sideboard. Every one
Yeah.
of these players knows what they're playing
100%
against.
open deck list for this event. 100% open deck list as like any GP top 8. Go ahead and read it off to me. What we got?
So we got one Bajuka Bog, one Elvish Reclaimer, two Path to Exiles, two Pyroblasts, two Red Elemental Blasts, one Sudden Demise, which haven't seen that card in ages.
That card's coming in. That card's definitely coming in.
100% coming in. Two Surgical
100%.
Extractions, two Cinder Vines, one Domri Raid, and one Night of Autumn.
So
So tell me what you like here. What would you hate to see?
if as the D&T player, Sudden Demise is brutal because we are a mono white deck, just
Mono white.
blows all of our creatures out of the water. So that can just blow everything out. We don't need Bajuka Bug. We don't need. I don't really think we need an Elvish Acclaimer. Elvish Acclaimer could come in for a late game swing, becoming a 3/4 on the back end. Maybe I think it's a maybe card right now on the decisions. Path, sure, could come in. Pyroblast isn't coming in. Red Elemental Blast isn't coming in. We already said Sudden Demise is definitely the one card we 100% know is going to make that side cut, that sideboard cut.
So,
Um,
what do you think about
s-
Cinder Vines then? Because it is a naturalize on a stick, and it also deals 2 damage.
yeah, so it has the back end of if we bring in all this stuff. Um, it does cut off swords from dealing too much from gaining life. We do see it on the back end of Vile. If we want to play late game Vile. But the thing is it does sack. It does get rid of Aether Vials that we saw were pretty relevant in Frosty's plan there with Skyclave Apparition, Recruiter of the Guard, and Flicker Wisp. I definitely could see it coming in. I definitely think with how long that game went, we see Domri Raid come in.
I was gonna agree with that. I think
Yeah,
Dominant Raid as sort of a card advantage, I think is a really good play. I think Dominant Raid is a solid choice.
I mean, you play Domri Raid, you uptick, see that you have a questing beast right there. You play your questing beast, and then you have your questing beast fight a Flicker Wisp, or you have it fight a Mom, or you have it fight something that can't have to deal with later. And the other card I think we come in is fine is we see Night of Autumn come in as well. Destroy target artifact, just another naturalize on a stick. We see get rid of your Aether Vial, swing this nice 2/1, and if we are in the back burner, it can become a card that really puts us on the right track. All right,
It
we're
is
gonna
really a does everything kind of card.
yeah, and so we're gonna hop back into the match. We're gonna keep talking sideboards here, where we're gonna hop back up into seeing what the players are talking about on the battlefield. So on the other side of the Death and Taxes list, we have one Walking Ballista, two Graft Digger's Cage, two Path to Exile, one Pithing Needle, two Containment Priest, two Dampening Sphere, two Rest in Peace, one Sanctum Prelate, one Sword of Feasting Famine. I think is definitely coming in, and Armageddon.
So this is the matchup that I don't think Armageddon would be the best. This is a lot of mana dorks and stuff like that. It's a deck that can really facilitate itself off of not having lands. I really think Pithing Needle is a great card to bring in. It's a catch-all answer to a lot of things, and it can also name important cards like any sort of the Planeswalkers, like Dominant Raid or Knight of the Reliquary, which
Yeah,
can stop a huge amount of Maverick's game plan.
yeah,
Uh, that being said, I also really like Containment Priest here. Being a
yeah.
Green Sun Zenith player, I have felt the pain of casting Green Sun Zenith for 3 or 4, and then your opponent just flashes in Containment Priest, and you feel terrible.
Yeah, I think another good card we're definitely going to see. I think you already said it. We are going to see Sword of Feast and Famine probably come in. It allows us to kind of reset after each attack, getting through those green monsters that were becoming a problem for Frosty almost near the end there. And I really want to see it. We talked about it already. I might want to see Armageddon come in. I don't think it's a bad play here. Getting rid of 4 or 5 mana on Rax's side of the board could really be really could be a game changer on that side of the field.
Yeah, but if there's a Nether Reliquary on the field, then you just gave them 4 or 5 power.
Yeah, it really is. It really can be a really it's 50-50 on what you want to see. And we are going to see Ben Frank's baby picks. Thank you so much for the follow. We've had some amazing names today on our follow list, and we want to
Professor
thank you guys.
Top Hat, if you're in the chat, much love, homie, much love.
But we do want to thank you guys so much. We are in round one, getting ready to head into game two. Frosty, our top seeded player on Death in Texas, took game one in an amazing fashion with a crackback after miscalculating life totals. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're good. Oh, and Champagne Magic. Thank you guys so much for the thank you so much. I think Champagne is actually in our invitational. So hopefully we'll get to see some play from them as well later this afternoon.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, we are the MTGPL Discord. We facilitate a massive kind of community for tournament play, being through webcam, playing Eternal Magic, Paper Legacy, keeping the game alive. Paper Legacy is not dead, and it's far from
Never.
it. We have a 1,500 player community, over 1,500 player community that are just having some fun, playing some Magic, and
Yeah.
this is where all these players have been working towards this big invitational where they have been playing. And honestly, Oof. Oh, we are seeing this come out, and these are experienced players that know what they're doing, and we see a Bolt the Bird, and now Rax is back with the Noble Hierarch. This is gonna be a fun game. Game two, and let's see if Frosty can pull it out,
Yeah,
maintain that
so
number one seed.
yeah, so while we were thanking all of our viewers there, we saw Noble Hierarch into Swords into another Noble Hierarch here, and both players just running out as fast as they can. I'm sure we're probably going to see a Stoneforge Mystic here just slam. Yeah, there's the Stoneforge Mystic. Probably going to grab the Sword of Feast and Famine just to have it. I think that's the thing.
I agree. I think Feast of Famine's great. It allows you to hold up interaction. It allows you to pressure their hand total, because importantly, like we brought up earlier, Maverick's only source of card advantage is the Sylvan libraries.
Yeah.
So if you're able to stop that, it's gonna be pretty cool to see. Yeah, we're seeing the Feast and Famine.
I mean,
All right.
and even as like people like it's great. It gives 2/2 protection from green, but man, that second block of text on Feast and Famine is brutal.
Oh yeah.
I hit you, I get to untap all my lands, and I make you discard a card. When we can shut you off of drawing cards with Spirit of the Labyrinth, this becomes brutal.
Yeah. That's the reason why I really think Feast and Famine should 100% being brought in. I think bringing the Feast and Famine in the sideboard, great, a great choice. Hey, okay. So what do you think this 3 or 4 mana play is going to be? Because importantly, Rax here did fetch, so that means that they got a 3 or 4 mana play here.
I think we might see Clothis hit the battlefield here, but I still don't see any red mana on their side. This is actually gonna be a 4 mana play. We might just see, yeah, just slam the questing beast on turn 3 here. Just
I
make you
am
have it.
down with this.
Yeah.
So when I play against Death and Taxes, my number one card that I want to get on the board fast as possible is always gonna be Questing Beast, because with this Noble Hierarch, this is a 3 or 4 turn clock. From 20, it's a 4 turn clock.
Yeah.
This is just show me your answer. Show me your answer, and I'm gonna just protect the Questing Beast.
Yeah, and Mike making the great choice. Yeah, one of the best arts for Death and Taxes there. Those APAC planes. Mwah.
Yeah, I was
Muy
just about. I was
perfecto.
gonna bring it up earlier. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh man, but then we see, of course, Caracas. Where's the wasteland? Show me the
Yeah,
wasteland.
yeah. We got the Caracas. Uh, let's see. There it is. There
They're
it is. We see the
forced to
wasteland.
do it now.
Yeah,
Replay it.
yeah. Frosty's in a pretty un. She's pretty stuck in this position now. We're just gonna slam it and hit you again.
Go, go, go. Questing Beast taking it all the way. The quarterback is in the house. This is Peyton Manning worth of quarterback. This is crazy to see, and I
Yeah.
really, hey, oh man, I don't think the Feast and Famine is gonna be fast enough.
No, it's not right now. We are unfortunately going to see. I think Frosty is already 2 behind here. Um, it will allow them to block, putting a 3/4 body with protection from green. It allowed them to start blocking the questing beast. It's just not enough to really get there right now at the end of the game. We are getting some updates from our players in the chat. I'm really glad to see that Malfi and them. I wonder how. Hope your games went well. We hope to see you guys in the further rounds. Like we said, this is double elimination, so every player who lost in the first round is not done yet. There are at least going to be at least 2 players going home after round 2, unfortunately. But we are going to see these players moving through all day, hopefully. So we hope, even if your games didn't go well in the first round, we hope that your games go well in the second round. You guys can stick around. And we are going to stick out our straw poll here because we want you, the viewers, to pick what we see on stream today, what you guys want to watch. We're not going to stick around with Frosty all day unless you guys want us to. We are going to be hopping around game to game based on what all of the viewers, want to see. So if you guys want to go ahead, fill out that poll, let us know what you guys want to see for round 2, and we can make sure that you guys are seeing the best Magic that we've got. And also, thank you so much, SARS1333. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream, man.
Thanks. Should we be thanking SARS? Isn't that the situation that we're in right now? Globally? But yeah, so the poll is for, we are going to cast every single match that we can,
Yeah.
but we want you, the viewers, to decide on what we're casting. I mean, we're ready to talk all day, all night, but it's one of those things that we want the viewers to experience, have the best experience possible. And Rax is just, I don't know what Frosty's game plan for this is right now, outside of the 4 Swords of Plowshares that Frosty really needs to find. There's 2 more Crocus's left in the deck. You really need to find that or a Skyclave Apparition or something,
Yeah,
because otherwise
yeah.
this questing beast is closing out the game in 2 more turns.
Yeah. I did want to, before, since we do know Frosty is in the tank hard right now, figuring out their best line. I do want to give a huge shout out to all of our other mods who are working behind the scenes today. We have Mr. Jack Dex, our stream, Mr. Chaotic Bear, working off of, they are doing all the work. We've got Ivan, we've got Astrid, we've got everyone. We've got Mick, we've got Lone, we've got Ivan, we've got Beyond Sadistic, we've got myself, we've got Pie Boy. We are all working our asses off to make sure you guys have the best day here for our invitational. If I missed any mods, I'm sorry. I'm looking at our mod screen, making sure I'm saying everyone. We've got Prez, we've got me, we've got Pie Boy, we've got Mr. Jack Dex, we've got Mick Diff, Lone Digger, Ivan, Doc himself, Chaotic Bear, Beyond Sadistic, and Astrid. We are running through making sure you guys have the best day today of everything
Yeah,
we can do.
this has been what. So we first started talking about this months ago. I
Mhm.
mean, I think I first brought. So it was a group collaboration of like, or we want to do a big tournament, and it evolved over the time. Chaotic Bear came up with this idea of a leaderboard of an invitational, and it's become this whole thing that has really involved the entire community. It's great to see so many people come out to support it. Thank you very much. And honestly, like as much as we, the mod crew, love to do this and have a great time and stuff like that, it's one of those things that we do this for you guys. We do this
Yeah.
for everybody. We do this for the community, and to see that people are having this much of a good time with it.
Yeah, we're clearly saying this is one of our biggest streamed events that we've ever had, and we can only thank each and every one of you guys for being here today. And we are starting this off beautifully with this game. Frosty, they're swinging in with the Stoneforge Mystic, Flicker Wisping their own Stoneforge Mystic after combat to bounce their Stoneforge Mystic, activate Stoneforge Mystic again, gets the Batter Skull. So Frosty really had to think through that line. That's a line that I would have gone right over my head to possibly
I
figure out here to keep myself alive.
I really like this play because not only that, it also gives you a 3 power blocker for the questing beast. Now, of course, like throwing your one best attacker underneath the bus for the questing beast does feel really bad, but you are also on 10 and this is attack for 5. And I really think that this flicker wisp is about to go underneath the questing beast bus.
Yeah, and we do have to give one final shout out to the owner of the MTG Paper Legacy Discord, our man, our god, our creator, Rad. Rad Hazard has created an awesome place for us here at the MTG Paper Legacy Discord, and none of this would be possible without them. And we really much appreciate them for giving us a place to play, a place to commentate, and a place to show off what Legacy is to the rest of the country and the rest of the world.
Oh wow, this collector roof is massive.
Ooh,
This changes everything.
ooh.
This game just got
we
flipped
we
around.
might be going to game 3. We might be going to game 3 here. That's
Oh
brutal.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
we're getting commentary from our own table spotter. Plays collector. Oof. Ouch. Ugh.
Yeah, this collector was perfectly timed here.
Oh, that's
It's
huge.
importantly here. There's also mother rooms on the board, which can give you protection from black to get around the germ. This is looking rough here. I really hope Frosty has an answer. Otherwise, we're going to a game 3. But
Yeah.
you know, I love seeing game 3s because it really demonstrates each one of these players' capabilities here, and this is crazy to see. I'm really liking this.
This for our first matchup on stream, this is exactly what we were hoping for. No blowout, no big game over the top, no player not having the lands to do anything. We are seeing straight up grind fest here of perfect play after perfect play after perfect play, being able to make sure that those cards, these decks are running at their fullest potential. Great awareness from Rax, knowing that Collector Oof one in the main is enough, and being able to find it and do some real damage here, shutting off that equip for Sword and Feast and Famine. That would have been a 5-3 Flicker Wisp, just over the top, just beat stick.
Yes, and being able to redraw everything. I even through the importantly here. Let's see. Okay, hey, let's see if Frosty tries to make the germ, and let's see if Rax sees the light of giving Questing Beast protection for black. Because I'm not attacking with anything else here. I'm just letting Questing Beast do its thing.
I think we may see some GSZ. We do see the
Oh,
first red source of the game here as well. So we do have some red cards now officially online.
this goes and finds Kusali Pride Mage.
Yeah.
this locks it up because Quasali Pride Mage with the 1 mana activated ability to blow up an artifact or enchantment, you you always get that in with plus the Exalted trigger. This Questing
Yeah,
Beast is attacking for 6.
yeah,
Oh, oh man.
yeah. And I think that's just going to do it. Yeah,
Yep.
Frosty realizes the line there. That's pretty much just going to do it. But yeah, we're going to go to game 3 and first match. It's exactly what we were hoping for.
Yeah.
Um, and
So,
we're going to.
being a Death and Taxes player, are you changing the sideboard up for on play versus on draw?
Absolutely. I think we stick removal heavy, but we want to be. We just saw how fast Maverick can be if left unchecked. We tried our hardest to check it the first game. The second game there, Swords to Plowshares a noble just for them to have a second one. On curve, Questing Beast is brutal. 1 turn faster, Questing Bruce is killer. Um,
Yeah.
so it really all depends really where Frosty wants to see their deck go. This could be either moving in another Sanctum to shut off 4 mana. Well, that only hits non-creature spells. So we could see maybe Maverick hitting 2 and 3 to shut off Swords of Plowshares, Punishing Fire, Domri Raid to make sure they can't play Domri if we knew that was coming in.
I personally really like bringing in the 2 more Path to Exiles. I think you are
Yeah.
correct with bringing them in last time. We didn't see them last game. I really think the 2 Path to Exiles are so important because honestly, this matchup's going to hinge on Questing Beast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
We just saw how brutal that card is to deal with if you have no protection. One power creatures and 2 power creatures are most of what Death and Taxes is. It just walks all over him, can't stop it. And we saw there from Rax having the perfect answers to to Death and Taxes with 1 slamming Collector Oof, having the GSC to go get Quasali Pride Mage, and just shutting it down.
yeah, and so importantly here, each one of these players, each one of them have played multiple games throughout the entire tournament, stuff like that. Rax here is also a winner, though. He's also
Yeah.
taken down entire tournaments. Same thing. Has Frosty taken down one of our? I think yeah, Frosty is also taken down. So both of these players are experienced. They know that they're being in the hot seat, and both of them here prepared for this, and it's really amazing to see how these tight plays are being played out.
I mean,
uh
like we
I
said, these are our top 8 players over the
Yeah,
last 3 months of MTG Paper Legacy play. These players have won consistently. These players have asked to be in events all the time. They are our Tuesday night fight night first sign uppers. They are our Saturday 4-0s, 5-0s, 4-1s, 4-0-1s, whatever you need them to be. They're the ones who have put in the time on the Discord, put in the time in the events, and the results are shown for themselves.
yeah.
When
So
these players are just winning and winning and winning.
yeah, and to see these players, coming out at the very top, it's really cool to see this. Honestly, though, I'm really excited to see what Frosty's going to bring on the play. Now, of course, there's this early game matchup. All of this matchup, I really think that it still just comes down to mana. It's just
Yeah.
got to come down to mana, and I think we have another follow here. Or is this Burn Man? I think Bum Man we got on the stack. Thank you for the follow, much appreciation, dude.
So yeah,
Er,
like we said, we are in the 75-minute game. So this means this game 3 does have about 25 minutes left in their time. And if you're the other 3 matches, which we have just gotten the confirmation from Alfie that every other match is done, I don't see a problem. These players are just watching what they're going up against, possibly. If you're in Frosty's seat, these players are getting an in-depth look at your lines. And that's kind of big for us to see sadness
this
goes
goes
on.
on the stack. Yes. Best
Thank
username. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you guys so much for being here today. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Round 1. I'm going to be your mostly permanent commentator tonight. I'm going to be taking a lunch break for round 2, but then I will be here joined by a culmination of all of our other mod team tonight. Joining us, we've got 6 to 7 rounds of insane matches for you today. And man, we're going to come out swinging here. Turn 1 mom into turn 1 GSC to get a Dryad Arbor.
Yeah, and importantly, I think Frosty having the turn one mom play, I think this is gonna be really big for it. We haven't seen Frosty playing a turn or one play the last two games.
Yeah.
That previous game we've seen, holding up swords, stuff like that, which I think is very important. But on the play, death and taxes, you want to go aggro before your opponent slams a questing beast onto the field.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and okay, yeah, we're finding the questing beast of death and taxes. We're finding a batter skull,
Yeah.
and
And
Rax
showing a
really needs.
turn two wasteland, just big.
Yeah,
Let's play.
yeah. Importantly, here, Rex did not fetch a non-basic. That being said, they have played a Dryad Arbor, so they're always going to have access to their green meta that's so important. And you know, uh, I don't know who comes out on the top here. Oh, is Rex going to the tank, or I think they're just going to the tank.
Yeah, Rax, they are in an awkward position here because Wasteland gets rid of Dryad. It gets rid of their Savannah they have. This is a really they're gonna show the Wasteland to get the Wasteland. There we go. Pops the
There,
Wasteland. Uh
I like that play. I like that play because of the fact. Oh, ooh, okay.
ooh,
Okay, we got a Quasali Pride Mage. Okay,
ooh.
that's cute. Your batter skull looks nice. Blow it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. That's a real cute battle skull you've got. Let's make sure you don't get to do anything with it while it's just stuck in your hand. Um,
They
like I
have
said, guys,
all the answers, and it's great to see.
yeah,
Oh man,
this is a great. This is what we wanted for our first round. This is great. We do want to make sure you guys are voting in the chat here. We do. Are you guys as the viewership are going to be choosing our round two? We want you guys to make sure that you guys see what you want to see here. And if we have time, we're going to hop around to other matches. Unfortunately, with this game, grinding matchup, all the other games have already finished for the day for the first round. But we want to make sure that you guys choose what you guys want to see. So go
yeah,
ahead. There's a link in the chat presented by Nightbot. Just go ahead, click it. It's a quick straw poll. You guys can see all the decks and let us know what you guys want to see for round two. Sadness goes a stack. Yeah, I'm the D&T player, so I'm rooting for Frosty on the other side. But yeah, this is definitely a match where you this is one of the I think one of the best fair grindy matchups in Legacy right now. You've got fair versus fair, almost for a sense. We are going to
look at.
see the
Oh,
we're going
oh,
to
sorry. I just want to say thank you to Left Coast. Thank you. I try to break out the fresh duds for this. Haven't had to worry about it because of COVID, so I don't have to go into the office as much. But I'll break out the fresh duds for the invitational.
Hey, this is our biggest event of this year. We wanted to make sure that you guys saw that how much we cared about. We're not going to be in shirts and sweatpants. This is an event for us, for you guys to show that how much we care for each of you. So we're going to go ties out all the way out to the wall. I know that even our table spotters who aren't even on streamer in shirt and tie now, and we're going to see a containment priest here on Frosty's side here. Left Coast, I cannot vote for myself. I love that. But yeah, we do come to slam, Alfie. We come to slam some magic, and this is what we wanted here. So
Yeah,
end step containment priest here really locks down some of Rax's options there. They
this
may
cuts
have a little bit
down.
of tough.
This cuts down to the 4 green Sun Zenith, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Because the Dryad Arbor is on the field, so you can't just fetch for a Dryad Arbor here. But yeah, this does cut off the green Sun Zenith, everything like that. So
And
it's.
we're gonna say goodbye to that Quasali Pride Mage probably
Ooh.
with the Skyclave apparition here. Most likely hitting. Uh,
Yep.
yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, you got that.
I'd like to play my batter skull, please. um, and we are going to see just some swings here.
Okay, and importantly, we do have our first round results. So we have here starting off to just to give a little sidebar here. We have Sayonara taking game one against Left Coast. So Sayonara is our Elves player versus Hogak. Then we have Charbel winning game one against Nacho on Allurin versus Steel Stompy, and Malfi taking game one against Champagne, which is our Oops All Spells matchup. And this matchup is going to determine who goes up against Elves, and it's gonna be crazy to see.
Yeah. Yeah, we are really excited here. Like we said, we are in this double elimination bracket. So we see all of our game one losses hopping down into that what we call a losers bracket, unfortunately. But they're going to have the option, the ability to climb out, the ability to win their matches and move all the way through the lower bracket if it becomes a problem there, and just keep grinding up into that final. And like I
But
said, double elimination, man. We've seen some crazy stuff here. And who knows what we're going to see. We are going to see the punishing fire with a sideboard cat hitting it. And we're going to see Hula Hua. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We appreciate everything you guys are here for.
yeah, and looks like Rax's cat decided to hop on and up onto the board as well to
Yeah,
say hi.
yeah.
Okay, so where was that punishing fire going at
Punishing
before
fire
it
hit the
floundered?
mom. Hit
Oh,
mom.
it was
Yeah,
at the mom. Okay.
yeah. Then they mom gave themselves pro red. Phil the gift. Thank you so much for the follow. We appreciate everything you guys are doing. Sword, and then the swords the mom in response. So after giving itself protection from red, so had a double ding to get mom off the board there.
Oh, Champagne. That's a good lower bracket. Thank you.
Yeah,
We'll use that from now on.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Champagne.
Thank you, Champagne.
That I like that. Yeah, they're in the lower bracket, and the lower bracket come back, flip the bracket, and that's why we're saying we have possibly 6 or 7 rounds.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Thank you so much, Left Coast. You guys, if you lose your first round, you guys are in the lower bracket squad. That's it.
uh,
You guys are clearly not what we call losers. You guys have been our top 8 for 3 months here, and we're gonna see Clothis didn't get sideboarded out here. Great card here, I think, for this matchup to end up on the
I don't
game
think
3.
there's a single reason to cyborg Colossus in this matchup
Yeah.
because even then it gives you mana, which is great against DNT because
Mm-hmm.
DNT is a mana denial strategy. We do have a it also gives you some graveyard hate, which not really necessary, but
Yeah.
importantly, it also gives you a continuous clock
Yeah.
because the graveyard is always going to be stacked on either side for players. And we see the batter skulls onto the field. So importantly here though, we have not seen a Grove of the Burn Willows in any of these 3 games.
No, we have not.
Like no Grove of the Burn Willows, and I really think Rax is going to really count on doing that, punishing fire trick that you talked
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Oh, oh man, we are seeing here this massive swing
Yeah.
and a Spirit Labyrinth. Man, wow, they are in a really tough spot. Rax is here, like
Yeah.
and no sweepers.
Yeah, and they didn't have any red life to put punishing fire back into their hand on top of
Yeah,
that, so they were tapped out. Just kind of sticks them in that spot of not being able to really capitalize on a 4/4 gaining life there. Um,
yeah. Oh man, this is wild. Hell, I really so Rex really needs a top deck of some kind, some sort of creature,
yeah,
or because not even Green Sun Zenith can do it because of the Containment Priest. I think this Containment Priest is locking down Rax's hand though.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and we didn't even mention it, but Frosty ported the Dryad Arbor to stop the blocker. Like it was just a big feel bad moment there for as Digger said in chat, Lone Digger said in chat here. Just you have no blocker. I'll just tap down your Dryad Arbor. Uh, Good luck, kind of deal. Malfi, it is fair magic at its best. I mean, when you've got Maverick versus Death and Taxes, it's the fairest magic really now in Legacy.
This is so Maverick is a deck that I defines like the antithesis of like fair decks.
Yeah.
Like same thing with decks, Death and Taxes, and these are the fair deck. It's got Death and Taxes, Maverick, and Steel Stompy are fair decks for today, and we're gonna see just how far these decks go. Like as we saw here in the first round, the fair decks have done relatively well. I'm pulling up the.
I mean, I love what you said though. I mean, it's still not be really a fair deck. We got 3 copies of Lotus Petal, 2 copies of Mox
I
Opal.
would say that it's a fair deck because it's still trying to win through the combat step. I mean, we got combo decks, we got big mana decks. I mean, of course, Malfi with his wild prison deck, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think these are the true fair decks of our meta right now.
Yeah.
And thank you to whoever just gifted 2 subs. Really appreciate it. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate everything you guys are doing here. I don't know how to thank each and every one of you for being in this day with us today. This is 3 months of work from each of these players, from all of the mod team here, and it means so much to us that you guys are all here watching this event unfold. We are in round 1 of a hopefully very long, fortuitous day for all these players, for all of us. And we just want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here. And it looks like I hate to put this in Rack's favor, but they are in a very tough spot here. Frosty put the heat on quick. She
Well,
has,
this is what we saw in game 2 that Rax did.
yeah,
This fast clock, put pressure, have that just enough removal to
yeah.
get you through. And is that a Skyclave on the stack, or is that Taxiderm? Yeah, a Taxiderm, Spirit, and Priest. So we're in combat right now. This I think Rex, they have to have a punishing fire. They have to have a source. They have to have something in their hand.
Well,
And
there's
yep,
this. Thank goodness at least that they had an answer, or this game would have been over very very quickly. Um,
yeah, and it looks like the germ is being swords here.
yeah, I think that's the right play here. Frosty goes up to 24. Rax, they are still looking at a very very small clock here, equipping that. If one land, they can equip that batter skull to anything.
I was just
Um,
about to bring that up. I was looking up the equip
actually,
cost for Batter Skull since I don't play
actually,
with it.
Rax is at 1. They're in full top deck mode here with the find the best card they can.
Yeah, and it looks like Cloth is exiling that source of plowshares, drain down Frosty a little bit.
Yep, goes to
3 life is
3.
more than one because it allows you to crack your fetch lands. But I think Rax just hit this bad flood in the deck.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because our first 2 games were so back and forth here, and counting up power on the board here. Um,
So
and we are seeing some of our monthly pools here. Josh Lee Hutt giving some shout out to Frosty from pool 10 there, for some love from pool 10.
So, for those who don't know, we also run monthly leagues. So this is how a lot of these players get a lot of their points is by finishing high in the league, and having those just play games when you want to. There's no locked in deck list. Everybody has fun. The leagues have been like really popular ever since we
Yeah,
introduced them,
yeah.
and a lot of these players, all met through leagues.
Yeah. I mean, even most of our mod team plays in them. I was in pool 5 this time. Got I got handed by Oops All Spells to get out of that league. But man, Oops All Spells, like we said, we think that might be our deck of the day here. Not really sure how their game went. I think they may have won their game.
No, Malfi took down game 1, and as we were talking about though, round 1 was really hard for
Yeah.
Oops All Spells, being the fact that Malfi's running a prison style 12
Yeah.
post list.
Yeah.
Force Sphere Resistance is so hard to play
Yeah.
through.
But yeah, that's the deck that I lost to the most in the last couple of weeks. So glad to see it here representing the top 8. But Malfi, good on you. Good on you for the win there. Appreciate that you took down Oops All Spells for round 1. Makes me feel happy that the deck isn't going to stop through today. Going to
Yeah.
show a GSZ, and I think that's going to do it.
Yeah,
Frosty's going to take it.
that Containment Priest locked down those Greens of Venus, and man, they were so well played. And yeah, that's round 1, everybody. So we're gonna take a short break here as we get round 2 all set up and paired up. And let's see, what do we got? What do we got here for the poll?
I haven't checked the results yet, but I want to thank everyone for being here for round 1. I'm going to take a quick break myself because I'm going to be here for the rest of the night. I'm going to go eat some food. Doc, it was great commentating with you for round 1.
Great commentating with you, my friend.
What a great way to start off the day here. Great first rounds. Good luck to all of our top 8 today. I will see all of you in round 3, I believe is when I'll be back. But we'll let you guys know. We'll give you an update in the chat on what our round 2 matchup will be, and we will see you guys there.